Hello everyone, welcome to ECE 346 Digital Signal Processing. This is the Spring 2015 offering of the course at Rutgers University. This course has 3 sections. The lectures for all 3 sections will be held in Pharmacy 115 on Mondays and Thursdays from 8:40 a.m. till 10 a.m. My name is Wahid Bajwa, and I am the instructor for this course. My office is in 723 Core. In terms of means of communications, the first preferred mean is via email or Twitter. My email address is wahid.bajwa@rutgers.edu. My Twitter handle is @sigprocessing, and I'll be tweeting related information for the course via this Twitter handle. All the Twitter information for this course will include the hashtag #RUEC346. In addition, I'll be uploading, just like this introductory lecture, the videos for most of the lectures on my SIG Processing YouTube channel. The complete address is youtube.com/c/SIG And if you go on that channel, you will see that there will be a playlist which will be created for the Spring 2015 offering. Right now I have 2 courses there. One is a graduate class, one is an undergraduate class. I will add the new playlist, and all the lectures or related details for the course will be uploaded on this SIG Processing channel. Now, the course also has a course website and a Sakai website. If you go to the Sakai website, you will see that it will look something like this. Right now, the lessons module only has the course syllabus up, which I am right now discussing with you. In addition, on the left-hand side, you will find the course calendar. I have included all the details in this course calendar so you can see the timings of the lectures. Here they are for Thursdays and Mondays. In addition, I have also listed the 3 recitations. The recitations are divided into 3 sections. So depending upon which section you signed up for, your recitation will either be on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Please check your offering, which section you are registered in. If you click, you will see where the recitation section is going to be. For example, for section 2, it's going to be in engineering building D110. For section 3, it's going to be in engineering building D110. And for section 1, it's going to be in engineering building B125. So section 2 and 3 are in the same building or in the same room, whereas section 1 is in a different room. I have also uploaded the schedule for the labs, although those schedules are tentative because the labs are primarily being managed by Professor Sophocles Orphanides. So the first lab, I believe, is going to be in a few weeks' time. Here I have listed, for example, that the lab for section 2 will be on the 10th of February. And section 3, the first lab will be on the 13th of February, whereas for section 1, the first lab will be on 19th of February. Okay. So this calendar, I will encourage you to take note of it. You can also subscribe to it because it's a Google Calendar. Now, I talked about a course website. You can access the course website directly from going to the Sakai, clicking on the course website. The address is a little bit lengthy one. I won't repeat it. It's listed in the syllabus. The course website includes the tweets that are included with the hashtag #RUEC346. So here is the first tweet for this course, which I am announcing the starting of the course. Main announcements will be listed on the website. There are some supplemental videos. I'm encouraging all of you to look at Khan Academy videos because they are excellent resources for some of the tricks you have forgotten. I will include the updates of what we studied in each class. There will be practice problem sets, graded assignments, and term projects discussed on the course website. Now, all the assignments will also be posted on the Sky module. Right now, we don't have any assignments. I may give out online tests and quizzes. There will be resources uploaded. For example, all the lectures will be uploaded here in terms of PDF format. There is a grade book that you can look your grades up. The email archive. If you are ever not receiving an email from me, this is the place to go and check whether you have missed any email. For example, I have already sent the first email in which I welcomed all of you. All emails from me will be archived here. So if you are ever in doubt that you are not receiving my emails, Sakai is still the best resource to go and find that out. So please make use of Sakai from time to time. Make sure you are up to date, you are not missing any details. Now, going back to the details of the course, I will be holding office hours regularly. Right now, my office hours are going to be on Mondays, 10:15 to 11 a.m. right after class. I do encourage you to email me and set up additional office hours if you cannot make these office hours. Now, we have been assigned 2 TAs for our lab, recitations, and other assistants for the course. Their names are Zara Shakiri. That's her email address. And the other guy's name is Mohammad Asad Lodi. And that's his email. And these 2 TAs will carry out TA-led recitations once a week for every section. And they will alternate between each other, so that one TA will be leading the lab and then the other TA will be leading the recitation, and then they will switch again. So if you are ever sending some email to the TAs, please make sure that you send to both of them so that they are aware of what's going on. Here are the details of the recitations again. Section 1 on Wednesday, Section 2 on Monday, Section 3 on Tuesday, and the places where they are going to be. Now, the required text for the class, it's this text of Sanjit Mitra. The book is Digital Signal Processing, a Computer-Based Approach, 4th edition. It's the McGraw-Hill. Here is what the book looks like if you're not looking at the international version. If you do buy international version or any other version, some of the homework and practice problems will be assigned from the course. So I encourage you to make sure your book's ISBN number matches with the ISBN number that is listed here, or you make sure that you are solving the right problems. There is also a reference text by James McClellan, Ronald Schaefer, and Mark Yoder. Its name is Signal Processing First. It is not a required text. I am not even recommending it, but I do recommend it for students who were weak in their understanding of the prerequisites. I believe it can help them. But again, it is up to you whether you decide to buy it or not. This is what the text looks like. It has some real basic intuitive understanding of the concepts that you might have learned in the linear systems class. Moving forward, the prerequisites for this course, as you all know, are the linear systems and signals class and lab. In particular, regardless of what grade you got in that course, it is important for you to understand that some of the things I'll take for granted are that you understand the concept of complex numbers. You have a sense of Fourier, Laplace, and Z transform. You understand the difference between continuous and discrete time signals and systems. And you know the relationship in time domain and frequency domain between the input and output of linear time invariant systems, continuous and discrete convolution, etc. In addition, I'm expecting that you guys are capable of carrying out MATLAB assignments and projects. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that I won't help you with some of the confusion that you will have, or the TAs won't help you. But all I'm encouraging is that if you are weak in any of these concepts, that you go ahead and start polishing up on those weaknesses. Okay, in terms of course policies, the grading of the course will be as follows. There will be, as you all know, a prerequisite quiz, which is necessary for most undergraduate courses. That will be about 2% of the course. Now, that prerequisite quiz likely will happen in the 4th lecture. But that's again just a likely assumption. I can't guarantee right now. In addition, there will be random attendance, which will account for 3%. Random attendance will be in the following sense, that if I ever feel that there are too many kids missing in the class, I will call up randomly some people's names to see who is present, and the way the credit will be given for this attendance will be that everyone will start at 100%, and with each absence, you will lose 10% of your random attendance contribution to the course. Now, there will also be quizzes. The quizzes will account for 5%. Most of these quizzes will be taken during the recitation sections. So it's important for you to make sure you attend the recitation section and pay attention. There will also be homeworks that will be 5% of the course. There will be a term project, which will likely be an individual term project, but depending upon the nature of the project, I might increase it to be a team project with 2 or 3 members. But right now, assume that it will be an individual term project. There will be 2 in-class exams that they will account for in total 40% of the course, and then there will be a final exam, 37.5% of the course. Now, let's go into some of the details. I've already explained the random attendance policy. Let's talk about the late homework submission policy. I understand that many of you come up with certain issues that you cannot submit homeworks in time. So rather than individually dealing with appeals for late submission, I have this policy that every student gets a grace period of up to 3 days for a maximum of 2 homeworks. What that means is that you have 2 free passes. Now, the first grace period is completely free. There is no penalty. Let's say the homework is due in class on Monday morning, and you feel like you want to use that grace period. You don't have to tell anyone. On Thursday morning, you can still submit the homework on my table, leave it on my table, and it will count as submitted in time if it was your first grace period. For the second grace period, if you submit it by Thursday morning, then you will lose 30% of the marks, but other than that, will still accept it. Now, if you do it more than twice, then there won't be any more late submissions that will be accepted regardless of the reason. The idea of these 2 passes are to account for some of the emergencies that will arise in your life. And so I would advise you to use these passes sparingly and do not use them up in the first 2 homeworks and then find out that you have an emergency and you can't use it. Now, coming to the next policy, which is quiz makeup policy, I won't be giving makeups for quizzes. I won't allow them. However, if there are some really special circumstances, you can discuss with me and I'll think about it. But again, my first answer will be no, unless you can convince me that it was a real emergency. In terms of exam policy, exams will be closed book and closed notes. You will be, however, allowed to bring in 2 two-sided letter-sized pages for midterm exams, and then 4 two-sided letter-sized pages for the final exam. Now, other than these pages, you are not going to be allowed anything extra. Also, as a general policy, I will not allow a makeup for an exam unless there is a real emergency, and if there is an emergency that requires you to have a makeup, then you need to let me know and seek approval at least 7 days ahead of time. And the emergency can't be that I'm not well prepared. Okay? Now let's talk about the grading policy. I'll assign the grades on a relative basis, and the relative scale will vary depending upon the performance of the overall class. What that means is that in an ideal setting, if this class was behaving as any other class that I have taught before, then if you are above class average, you will get B, and higher, the above students will get B plus and A and so forth. If you are at class average or below, you will get C plus and C and D and so forth. However, in order to ensure that all of you don't collude to perform mediocrely, this average getting a C plus is going to be based upon the overall performance of the class. So if the overall class performs pretty bad, then actually the C plus or the B could become a C or C plus or D. On the other hand, if all the class, I was so lucky to have a class which performed wonderfully this semester, I'm happy to give a B plus, a B, or even an A to most of the class, depending upon how the class did. Now, coming to the question of academic misconduct and plagiarism. I encourage you all to make sure you are familiar with the Rutgers Academic Integrity Policy and the definition of plagiarism. All cases of academic misconduct, be they cheating in quiz or an exam, or plagiarism in the project report or any other such academic misconduct, I will take a serious notice of that, and that will result in you losing 1 or more grade points, even leading you to an F. And B, I will report all academic misconducts, whether minor or major, to the School of Engineering, and it will go on your record. So I advise you to familiarize yourself with these policies and do not attempt to cheat in any sense of the word. Finally, let me just say a few words about how we can make learning this class fun and interesting. I understand the difficulties involved in this class. It is very early in the morning. I understand that as college students, you are always looking to sleep in a little bit. We have tried changing the times before, but because of the size of the class, it hasn't proved to be very meaningful. So because of that, the video lectures are going to be your aid, but still I encourage you to come to class, and of course there will be the random attendance policy that you have to adhere to. Now, learning is not just the responsibility of the students, but it's also the responsibility of the instructor. I'll make sure to help you in any way that I can to make you learn, but then you have to tell me how you learn the best. So there are some rules that I can help you with that will help you do the learning better. The first rule is, if you feel lost during the class, if you feel like you don't have the right prerequisites, if you feel like you don't have the right concepts, do not hesitate to reach out to me or to the TAs. I assure you that we'll take all questions very seriously and try our best to answer them. B, this is a mathematically intensive course. There is no question about that. It is important that you keep up with the class material on a regular basis, and that includes doing your homework on time and preparing for quizzes, doing the reading assignments. I will be giving reading assignments and sample problems which will be ungraded, but if you carry them out, they will really help you to understand the course material. The final point is that while the percentage of the grade assigned to quizzes and homeworks is small, these two categories are the ones that are going to teach you the most. The reason for keeping the percentage small is so that you don't feel overwhelmed and resort to cheating or copying from other students. The reason they have a percentage is so that you can at least try to do the homeworks and quizzes. I encourage all of you to talk to each other about the homeworks, but you will learn a lot, in my opinion, if you were to do the homeworks by yourself and quizzes, prepare for them thoroughly. Okay. Now, we'll end this introductory video with a brief outline, which we'll see how well we are able to stick to it. The first week, we'll just go over the signal processing concepts and do some review of key prerequisite concepts. In weeks 2 to 6, we'll cover concepts such as sampling, the discrete time Fourier transform, the discrete time processing of continuous time signals. We'll look up what does it mean to do analog to digital and digital to analog conversion, things like quantization error. In weeks 7 to 11, we'll do discrete Fourier transform, some of their properties, how can you do linear convolution using the DFT, the fast Fourier transform, and how does spectral analysis of signals work using the DFT. In the last 3 weeks, we'll finally do analysis of LTI systems using the Z transform and the pole zero diagram. We'll understand how to realize filters in direct form 1 and 2, in cascade and parallel form. We'll look at design of digital filters and IIR filter design using impulse invariance principle. And we'll look at the FIR filter design using the windowing method. Now, this is a very tentative course outline. Depending upon how the class receives different material, there is always room for changes, and I'll keep you abreast of those changes. And hopefully, we will have a fun semester. With that, I welcome you again to EC 346, Digital Signal Processing, and I hope to see you all in the first class on Thursday morning, 8:40 a.m. in Pharmacy 115.